Hi everybody, I'm Cadenza. Let's play Mirrors, shall we? This game is going to require a bit more of an intro than previous games I've covered, so I'll try and get through it as concisely as I can. So, this is a horror adventure game that was developed by Soft Studio Wing. That's a Japanese studio, and released for the PC 88 way back in the year 1990. Not just any PC 88. Specifically, it was released for the PC 8801MA, which I believe was the last model of PC 88 before the company moved on to their successor computer, the PC 98. The 8801MA came with a CD-ROM drive so that you could use things like Redbook audio and stuff in your games. But this game, Mirrors, was one of the only games to come out on this particular system. It was very late into the PC-88's life cycle, as I'm given to understand. And I'm not like an expert on this, so if I'm getting anything wrong here, feel free to correct me. I'm just going off of what sources I could find, and I'll get to that in a second. So Soft Studio Wing they mostly made horror adventure games like this one, with like one or two exceptions, but they're fairly obscure outside of their native country of Japan. And in fact, this game, Mirrors, is at the time of this recording the only one of their games to have been translated into English at all. Excuse me for a minute. I will be linking some videos down in the description if you want to learn more both about Soft Studio Wing and about this game. There's a little documentary by a YouTube user named FTB that goes into the history of Soft Studio Wing as a company, and I'm also going to be linking to a video by the Basement Brothers that is a review of this game in general, and it's actually, in fact, how I first learned that it was even a thing. Let's go ahead and start a new game here. I don't know how common this is, but you can navigate this game entirely with the number pad, which I think is neat. Well, almost entirely. That clicking that you might be hearing is the sound of the game's data being loaded. So this game, pretty slow. It requires a lot of loading. And I'll be cutting out these load times in future videos, just so we can have a little bit of a faster pace. Because I don't know, this game is weird. Like, you can read it and you can finish it in less than 10 hours, but it's also still pretty slow paced despite that. This game is a very slow burn. Like, right up until things suddenly pick up, this game is pretty leisurely paced, let's say. Exciting loading action. I hope you're enjoying this, because I'm certainly not. I think this load time right here is the biggest one right at the start of the game, which is unfortunate. That's partially why this series took so long to get going, despite having decided to do it like way back in November, and I do apologize for the wait, but we're doing it now, so better late than never and all that. The volume balancing on this is weird. Okay, we're good. Are we good? We're good. Yes, more loading. You saw earlier during the opening credits that this game was translated into English by a group called Nebulous Translations. I will also be linking to them in the description below, and I'll be putting a pinned comment on the video page that will link you to the Mirror's English translation that also includes a download link to a pre-configured emulator so that you can set this up for yourself if you want. I believe, if I'm recalling correctly from the Basement Brothers video, I believe that the reason these loading screens are happening is because the game is loading the next chunk of plot and stuff all at once so that the Red Book audio can play seamlessly without getting constantly interrupted by sound effects, which would be detrimental to the experience, probably. So this game is interesting. Excuse me. I had to clear my throat. This game is interesting. It is an adventure game. And it's also, I wouldn't call it a visual novel. This was like a few years before that term was coined, but it kind of has the skeleton of one. Maybe that'll make sense a little later once we actually get into the game proper and this loading screen finishes. Again, I'll be cutting these out in the future. But hopefully I'll be able to explain what I mean here in a little bit. Until then, we can just wait. These loading screens do take at least a full minute every single time, but it could be worse, I guess. David woke up screaming, his body covered in sweat. It was that goddamn nightmare again. I've been having these nightmares since I was a kid, and I still can't get used to it. What's bothering me is that they've been getting more and more realistic as I grew up. I've even been having them more frequently. If this keeps up, I might actually die for real. Maybe I really need a shrink. That's what David thought every time he had one of his nightmares. Those exact thoughts, in that same sequence every single time. He was very consistent that way. Guess I'll take a shower. He thought he'd feel better if he could relax under the hot water for a while. Tomorrow's the day, huh? My first European tour. David was the vocalist of Vision, an up-and-coming rock band of the UK indie scene. My understanding, based on the videos about this game that I've watched, is that Vision is a thinly disguised stand-in for Depeche Mode. I haven't really listened to Depeche Mode at all. They were kind of before my time, but I mean, I believe it. Anyway, that would have been their first tour of Europe since their debut, 1 year ago. So yeah, this does take place in the UK and Europe in general in the 1980s, which is an interesting setting for a Japanese adventure game. David sat on the sofa, holding a cold bottle of mineral water. So, the navigation and the gameplay in this is extremely limited. Your options amount, there's like no puzzle solving or exploration really, you're guided by the plot as it goes along, and you can sometimes look at things and sometimes interact at things as the plot dictates, but mostly you're picking dialogue options to continue whatever conversation you might be having. You can see what I mean, right? Like, this isn't a visual novel, but it kind of has the skeleton of one. And like, I should clarify that based on my limited understanding, Japanese players and developers don't think of visual novels the way we do in the West. Folks in Japan, I believe, they see visual novels as like a branding thing. It's like a subgenre of adventure game, whereas in the West, we tend to think of adventure novels as... we tend to think of visual novels, that's the right word I was saying. We tend to think of them as their own separate thing, when they're kind of derived from adventure games in Japan. I should probably link, now that I'm thinking about it, I should probably link there's a good video by Bowl of Lentils on this very subject, actually. I think I'll link that too. I'm stuffing a lot of links in the video description. Anyway, we have game to play here. It was a simple room for a famous musician. Clean and tidy. Whew. How am I supposed to go on our tour when I feel like this? This is kind of a trap. You can pick look around the room again, thinking that the option might have changed, but most of the time it doesn't. You have to manually select to advance, like David's thought process here, or a conversation that might be happening. You have to like manually select the right option to continue the conversation or whatever every single time, and it can be kind of clunky because it's like not always obvious who should be talking next. We'll probably get into that more as we continue. Anyway. No, I can't act like a wimp now. I have to man up. Oh good, we're dealing with some good old-fashioned toxic masculinity. Love that. It's still early. I'll watch some TV. Huh? No public broadcast during the day? What do I even pay taxes for? A horror movie at this time of the day? Yeah, I've seen this one. Compared to my usual nightmares, this feels like a comedy. I wonder which specific Friday the 13th movie this is supposed to be, because I'm pretty sure that's the reference here, but I haven't actually watched any of those, so... Actually, that's a lie. I saw Jason X. It was very bad. Involved in a traffic accident this morning in Richmond Road, Kingston upon Thames. The woman was brought to the nearby Castle Hospital, but was declared dead on arrival. Name was Claire Stark, 21 years old. She was the manager of Elenovision, a recent rock band contracted with Views label. Wait, what? Are they talking about Claire? Band was supposed to begin their European tour tomorrow. Views label refused to make any statements. The phone rang. It was a call from Martin, a fellow band member. I'd better hear Martin out. David! I heard from production. It's about Claire. She's... Yeah, I just heard on the news. They said she caused the accident. What? But she was never that careless before. I know. What are we going to do now? Our tour was supposed to start tomorrow. I know production has been working hard on that front, but it doesn't feel right now. Have you heard from the others? I'm going to call them now. Can you come to the office? Yes. See you there. These characters are all British, but with one exception, I'm not going to do a British accent for any of these characters because I can't really do different British accents. I kind of just have the one in me, unfortunately. Apologies in advance if that offends anybody. I don't know who would be offended by that sort of thing, but anyway. I should go to the office for the time being. David drank his mineral water down in one gulp, very impressive, and hurried to the Views label office. Fuse label had been founded 2 years prior. It started by investing in minor bands without sparing resources. This cutscene is like auto-scrolling text. It had since become an exemplary label of the European indies scene. Try saying that 5 times fast. Organizing major events and achieving sales numbers comparable to a major music label. Kate, the receptionist, usually wore a bright smile on her face, but she was unable to hide her sadness at the news of Claire's death.
David, it's Claire. She's...
I know. I heard from Martin.
She was so looking forward to the tour. Oh God, why did this have to happen?
You said it. Claire was working so hard for the tour she barely had any time to sleep. I'll have to talk to Richard about our plans.
The president left in a hurry a few moments ago. He looked like he had something on his mind, but he didn't say anything.
Guess I'll have to wait for him to come back. Try to cheer up, okay?
I'll try. Thanks, David.
David entered the office. Fuse Label's office was in an uproar. The loss of a talented woman like Claire was a terrible blow for an indie label. Where is everyone? Ah, David, they're waiting in the studio. Got it. Only Martin and Andrew were inside the studio. I quite like this arrangement of Satie's Je ne peux dire number 1. There are 2 such arrangements of that track of that piece in this game, and get used to them because you're going to be hearing them a lot. They were having trouble coping with Claire's death. Alan isn't here yet. The president ran off somewhere. I don't think the tour is going to happen at this point. Where's Alan? Don't lose heart, Martin. The president will think of something. You see what I mean when it says it can... You're too optimistic, Andrew. If the tour isn't a success, the media will destroy us. The band will be over. Guys, this isn't the time. We can't think about the tour now, David. What's wrong, Martin? You don't look well. You see what I mean when it can be kind of hard sometimes to tell who's supposed to talk next? I'll try to avoid that as much as I can. Not this again. You're way too worried about our reputation. What I should have done was alternate the two, not pick Andrew twice. Anyway. Someone's coming. Alan rushed in. He was the most technically skilled member of the band. He was behind the arrangement of most of their songs. Sorry I'm late. I was working on the sampling source disc for the tour. I still can't believe Claire's. That's all of us, excluding the president. Ah, looks like he's back. Richard, the president and producer, entered the studio. You're all here. Good. Come to the meeting room. We have to talk. Does he kind of look like a young Liam Neeson, or is it just me? A young lady was waiting inside the room. They're waiting for the president to start talking. It's been a tough day for all of us. Allow me to make the introductions. This is Susanna Ling, your new manager.
Nice to meet you, Eleno Vision.
I'm Andrew Baker. It's my pleasure.
I'm Ellen Steeble, in charge of arrangements. I'm the composer, Martin Vincent. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Any questions?
So the tour will start tomorrow as planned?
Yes, we should be fine now. Nice. That's the president for you. Where did you scout her from?
I didn't scout her, actually. She's been meaning to join us for a while now, and she officially joined the company the day before yesterday.
Yes, I have many questions. Well, we have a new manager now, so we should be fine. This is good, isn't it, David?
She just happened to join us before Claire's death? How convenient.
Maybe you planned all of this. Even her accident. That is a wild conclusion to leap to, dude. Even she thinks that.
David, you can't take it out on her. What happened to Claire was an accident. It's not Susanna's fault. Apologize, now!
Sorry about David, Susanna. He's still recovering from Claire's passing. Don't let me get to you, Susanna. David's usually a nice guy. I have to say, though, you don't get this angry often, Martin. She already captured your heart, eh? What a weird thing to say. I wasn't thinking straight. I'm still worked up about Claire's accident. I'm sorry, Susanna.
Come on, Alan, it's not like that.
Oh dear. Does that mean you hate me, Martin?
I didn't say that.
We have a new manager, and she's a cutie to boot. Andrew, this is not the time. God. Now we only need to finish prepping the tour. Don't fucking hit on your new manager. She's been here for 30 seconds, and your old one just died. God. Looks like you've hit it off well. It's too bad about Claire, but sometimes you have to make the best out of a bad situation. President, are all the instruments ready for the tour? Yes, everything you ordered has arrived. Claire's funeral will be held shortly. We should get going. Yes, sir. Their talk over, Richard and the band left to attend Claire's funeral. The skies of London were dark, as if saddened at Claire's funeral. Claire had been looking after the band ever since their debut. Now they could only pray that she rests in peace. Claire, you never had a moment to rest. You were always doing something for us. I'm grateful for everything. Farewell. Heleno Vision won't be the same without her. Right, David? Claire, we'll make sure this tour is a success. Please, watch over our lives from up there. Goodbye, Claire. Rest in peace. The members of the band went to a nearby park after the funeral. Guys, How about we have a little party to celebrate our new manager and to say goodbye to Claire? Sounds good to me. But really, Andrew, you're always the same.
What do you mean? He's always been more of an organizer than a musician.
Sick burn, dude. So, David, got any specific place in mind? Why not the good old Dirty Ducks?
Oh, I know the place.
Then it's a plan. See you there at 8 p.m.
I have to take care of things for the other bands. You take it from here, Andrew. Don't overdo it. Remember, you have a tour starting tomorrow. Oh, and don't forget the receipt.
Yes, sir. I was about to do my Alan voice for a minute. David said goodbye and went back home. After taking care of the last few preparations for the tour, he headed towards the pub, Dirty Ducks. This pub was always a favorite of theirs, even before their debut. They'd come here to relax after a recording session, or before one of their gigs. The friendly owner and the cheap fragrance was always relaxing to them. Along with the second bespoke arrangement of Je ne peux dire number 1. It's always that one for whatever reason. He wrote 3 of those. Susanna, if you don't mind me asking, why did you want to work for our label specifically?
Huh? It's because I really like your band. And David.
Yes?
No, it's nothing.
I smell intrigue. David is popular with the ladies, after all.
You better be careful, Susanna. Everyone knows that David will get in your pants in no time.
Okay, I don't know if the writing is like this sometimes to, like, get into the character of people in the 1980s, or if it's the natural inclinations of the original writers, or if it's something about this translation, or maybe it's a mixture of all these things, but I will acknowledge this game is a little weird sometimes, and I don't like it when it gets weird like this, but it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. We'll deal with it. It's just a little gross sometimes. Martin? Will give her the wrong impression of me.
Don't worry about me. Believe it or not, I've learned Aikido. I can defend myself.
You'll be fine then. They all laughed, sitcom style. There was a freeze frame and everything. They kept talking, forgetting about the time. Well, it's time to go. It's been a long day, what with the funeral and all.
I'll go with you, Andrew.
I'm going to the studio to take a look at those new instruments. I think I might have had a little too much to drink.
Me too, but I had fun. I mean no offense to Miss Claire.
We better go. I'll walk you home.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
They left the pub together. David and Susanna decided to walk through the back alleys to sober up, a fantastic idea. London at night is pretty chilly. I will have to take your word for it, narration. I've never been. I've been wondering about this since morning. Have we met somewhere before? Huh? No, not before today. I saw you during your lives and on TV, but that's it. Maybe I saw you in my dreams. Really? I'm glad to be in your dreams. Hmm? They couldn't expect the unfortunate event that was about to unfold. As they turned the corner, they collided with a pair of punks. Did they walk in from the set of a music video? Did all punks dress like this in London in the 1980s? I don't know. I have so many questions. David tried to laugh it up, but he knew it wouldn't work. Yo, this beat though. I'm terribly sorry. Have a good night. Good night, my arse. Unless you're gonna leave the girl with us, that is. Then we'll all have a good night. The punk slowly approached Susanna while glaring at David. One of the punks tried to grab Susanna. Well, well, look at this babe. We're gonna have some fun, you and us. No, get away from me. David, help. David hit the punk square in the face. You shouldn't have done that, little fucker. I'm gonna mess you up real good. One of them took out a knife. David knew some karate, but the amount of alcohol in his body made his head spin. The punks looked more than willing to kill David. Time to run down the options. Run, Susanna! Right as David and Susanna try to run. Where do you think you're going? David was hit by a punk. Just give up, bro. Someone! Help! David yelled as loudly as he could. Nobody's coming to save your arse. That didn't work. Run, Susanna! No, I can't leave you here alone. I'm supposed to know Aikido. Shut up and get your arse ready. Hello? Bring it on! What are you waiting for, you chicken? Come on! Ha ha ha, watch out, we got a bad arse over here. You're dead meat. You got a death wish or something? Fine by me. David managed to distract the punks. Now, Susanna, run! David, yes! Susanna started running just as the punks attacked David.
Die! David dodged the attack, just barely. Unfortunately, he stepped on a bottle and lost his balance. As he hit his head against the wall, David's mind went to the tour that was supposed to start the following day. No way in hell I'm dying here. Susanna, run! And then, everything faded to black. When he woke up, David found himself in an unfamiliar location. In front of him, there was a castle he had never seen before. Where am I? I'm sorry if you heard that. Jesus, I didn't think I was that hungry. I just ate like 2 hours ago, anyway. Wait. This castle. It's the one from my dreams. I get it now. This isn't real. This has to be one of my dreams. I guess I'll just go inside for now. David carefully approached the castle. He noticed the gate leading inside the castle. It doesn't seem to be locked. Alright, I'll open it. As soon as David opened the gate, he heard a voice. Who is it? Who's calling me? It came from inside the castle. I think there's someone inside. Might as well go in. David entered the castle. It's so dark. Aren't there any lights? Right then, he heard the sound of something, or someone, moving. Ah! Help! David felt his hand touch something, though as he was being strangled, he couldn't turn to check what it was. What a sentence. I'm going to die. What is it? It's a bottle. I can't breathe. I need to pick up that bottle. Ah! David managed to pick up the bottle and use it to strike his aggressor. And then, David lost consciousness.
David had been knocked out by the punks. When he regained consciousness, he was alone in the alley. My head hurts. Ugh. Was that a dream? David looked around him while getting his bearings. What the hell? Did I kill him? I don't remember this. One of the punks was lying on the ground, a copious amount of blood flowing out of his stomach. David was holding a bloody, broken bottle. The other punk must have run away. He could hear police sirens approaching. No, it wasn't me. I didn't kill him! It was a dream. The punks, the castle. Man, what a nightmare. Am I losing my mind? Did I wake you up, David? You were pretty drunk last night. How are you holding up? I've still got a little bit of a hangover, but other than that, I'm fine. I'll try asking Susanna about yesterday. This is one of the few prompts where it actually does change a little bit with each line of dialogue that's read. Oh yeah, what happened after we left the pub? God, let me try that again. Oh yeah, what happened after we left the pub? You don't remember? You could barely stand, so I brought you home. I guess Claire's death made me drink a little too much. Nothing weird happened along the way? No, nothing at all. I called a taxi and went home. The punks, the castle. It was all a bad dream. I see. Sorry for the trouble. Cheer up, David, okay? Today's the big day. I know. Thanks. Though the nightmare still weighed heavily on his mind, Susanna's words calmed him down. David made his way to Heathrow Airport, where the rest of the band was waiting. I think we're going to call it here for today. There's a button you can press to save. I don't remember what it is, but but if you do that, you can technically save whenever you want, but whenever you load, the game is going to put you back a few lines before where you saved. I don't know why it does that, so I'm probably also going to be making heavy use of save states throughout this game, just so I don't have to deal with as many loading times. So, yeah, this is Mirrors. I don't know how people are going to respond to this playthrough. I don't know how long it's going to be, and I don't know how long a given episode is going to be. It can be weird to find a good stopping place in this game sometimes, but I'll do my best. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you will continue to enjoy watching future videos. We'll see how it goes, I guess. And until next time, bye, I guess. See ya.